Chapter 13: The Coup. The tension between Musk and his colleagues at X.com reaches its breaking point. Revving, one of Musk's closest associates, grows increasingly frustrated with Musk's dismissive attitude towards the company's problems. Despite Revving's attempts to address issues of fraud and bankruptcy, Musk remains uninterested. Feeling hopeless, Revving contemplates leaving the company but is convinced by his colleagues to fight back instead. Revving, Thiel, Nosek, Hoffman, and Sachs form a rebel group determined to dethrone Musk. They gather support from other employees, preparing to confront the board and present their case. Meanwhile, Musk departs for a long overdue honeymoon in Australia. Unbeknownst to him, his colleagues are plotting against him. Revving seizes the opportunity to reach out to Thiel, who agrees to return as CEO temporarily. With their ranks strengthened, the rebels march to Sequoia Capital's office to plead their case to Michael Moritz. Moritz agrees that a change of leadership is necessary, but only if Thiel's role is temporary. The group celebrates their victory at a local dive bar, Antonio's Nut House. Musk, hundreds of miles away, begins to sense the growing dissent among his loyalists during his phone calls from Australia. When Musk discovers the plot against him, he tries to reverse Moritz's decision, labeling the coup a heinous crime. Unable to change Moritz's mind, Musk returns to the X.com office and searches for ways to fend off the rebellion. Frustrated and disillusioned, he seeks solace in playing Street Fighter alone. Thiel warns other executives not to answer Musk's calls due to his persuasive and intimidating nature. However, Hoffman, eager to repair their relationship, agrees to meet Musk for lunch. Musk passionately argues for his right to lead the company and presents his vision of creating a real digital bank. Despite Musk's efforts, Hoffman remains loyal to Thiel. In the end, the board votes to remove Musk as CEO, and he handles his defeat with surprising calmness and grace. He admits that the coup was to the company's benefit and sets out to repair his relationship with his former colleagues. The only remaining tension arises from Musk's desire to be the public face of the company, a role Thiel adamantly denies him. While Musk reflects on his ousting, it becomes clear that his willingness to take risks sets him apart from his counterparts at PayPal. This risk-seeking nature would later prove successful with the creation of companies like SpaceX and Tesla. Musk's departure from PayPal allows him a brief vacation, but even during his time off, he falls ill with viral meningitis, later diagnosed as falciparum malaria. Despite the near-death experience, Musk emerges with valuable lessons. Vacations are detrimental, and his home country of South Africa seems intent on destroying him. With his resilience intact, Musk prepares for new endeavors, always willing to take risks and put all of his chips on the table. Chapter 14: Mars. After his departure from PayPal, Musk explores his passion for flight and rockets. He purchases a single-engine turboprop and decides to learn how to fly, eventually obtaining his pilot's license. Eager to push the boundaries of his new skill, he takes the daring step of buying a Czechoslovakian military jet called the Aero L-39 Albatros, which provides him with exhilarating, acrobatic flights. As Musk becomes more immersed in the world of flying, he begins to visualize aerodynamics better, deepening his understanding of wing lift and the principles of flight. However, his fascination with rockets and space exploration lingers. A conversation with his friend Adeo Ressi during a drive back to Manhattan sparks Musk's desire to do something in space, leading them to believe that building rockets might be possible. Curious about NASA's plans for Mars, Musk visits their website but discovers a lack of any comprehensive mission. This realization shocks him, prompting him to come across the Mars Society and attend a dinner hosted by them. At the event, he sits next to film director James Cameron, who discusses the importance of human colonization of other planets with him and Justine. With his interest ignited, Musk dives into rocket engineering. He spends time at the Palo Alto Public Library, devouring information on the subject and contacting experts. At a gathering of PayPal alumni, he openly declares his intention to colonize Mars, earning responses of incredulity and astonishment. Musk's drive for space exploration stems from three main motivations. Firstly, he finds it disconcerting that technological progress is not guaranteed and that it can stagnate or regress if not actively pursued. He believes humanity should strive for continued advancement. Secondly, he views the colonization of other planets as a means to ensure the survival of human civilization in the event of catastrophic occurrences on Earth. Lastly, Musk is inspired by the pioneering spirit inherent in America's history of exploration and desires to rekindle that spirit. Convinced of the possibility of building rockets, Musk relocates to Los Angeles, where he can tap into the pool of aerospace engineering talent. He shares his vision with a group of engineers and begins holding meetings to plan a philanthropic mission that could inspire public support and increase NASA funding. Initially, Musk considers sending mice to Mars but changes his plan to sending a greenhouse to grow plants on the red planet. Dubbed Mars Oasis, this mission aims to capture the public's imagination and generate demand for further Mars exploration. The main obstacle is obtaining an affordable rocket, which leads Musk to reach out to rocket engineer Jim Cantrell. Musk and Cantrell devise a plan to visit Russia in search of launch slots or rockets. Musk's relentless pursuit of his Mars vision exemplifies his ability to see grand endeavors as having epoch-making significance. With the hope of changing humankind's outlook on space exploration, Musk sets his sights on making life multiplanetary and ventures into the next phase of his audacious journey. Chapter 15: Rocket Man. Elon Musk finds himself in a drab Moscow restaurant, exhausted and hungover after a wild night of partying in Paris. He is accompanied by Adil Ressi and Jim Cantrell on a mission to buy a used Russian rocket for their Mars mission. The lunch consists of small bites of food and copious shots of vodka, but Musk is not an experienced drinker and struggles to keep up. As the toasts to friendship continue, Musk's head slams into the table as he passes out. Clearly, he hasn't made a good impression on the Russians. Later that evening, Musk and his companions meet with a group selling decommissioned missiles. The encounter turns bizarre as the Russian in charge, missing a front tooth, spits in Musk's direction whenever he speaks loudly. When Musk starts discussing his vision of making humans multiplanetary, the Russian becomes visibly upset and shouts at them. Unfazed, Musk asks, "Did he just spit on us?" And Cantrell confirms it. Despite the disrespect, Musk and Cantrell decide to return to Russia in 2002. This time, Musk sets his sights on buying 2 Dnepr rockets. However, as negotiations progress, the price climbs higher. Frustrated, Musk realizes that the cost of rockets is absurdly disproportionate to the cost of their basic materials. On the flight back home, he starts calculating the cost of materials and devises a plan to build rockets himself. When he shares his spreadsheet with Cantrell and Griffin, they are amazed by Musk's determination. They embark on a journey to build rockets that can launch satellites and, eventually, humans to Mars and beyond. Musk's friends, concerned about the financial risk, stage an intervention to dissuade him from starting his own rocket company. They show him videos of rockets exploding, but it only strengthens his resolve. Unfazed by the likelihood of failure, Musk believes that progress in space exploration can only be achieved through audacious endeavors. He believes that if humans want to become a space-faring civilization, a new company must be created to revolutionize rockets. Musk decides to start with a smaller, less expensive rocket to launch smaller satellites. His goal is to maximize the payload-to-orbit cost, leading to his obsession with increasing engine thrust, reducing rocket mass, and making them reusable. Musk tries to recruit the engineers who accompanied him to Moscow, but ends up becoming the company's chief engineer himself. In May 2002, Musk incorporates space exploration technologies, also known as SpaceX. The company's goal is to launch its first rocket by September 2003 and send an unmanned mission to Mars by 2010. Musk continues his tradition of setting unrealistic timelines, but remains determined to make his wild notions a reality. Thus begins his incredible journey as a rocket man. Chapter 16: Fathers and Sons. In the aftermath of launching SpaceX, Elon Musk and his wife Justine experienced the joy of welcoming their first child, Nevada. Born after conception at the Burning Man Festival, Nevada brought new meaning to their lives. However, their happiness soon turned to despair when, at just 10 weeks old, tragedy struck. During a relative's wedding reception, their peaceful evening was shattered when a hotel manager informed them that something had happened to their baby. Rushing back to their room, the couple discovered paramedics working frantically to save Nevada's life. The baby had stopped breathing, and despite resuscitation efforts, he was declared brain dead. Justine later revealed that he had likely fallen victim to sudden infant death syndrome, a mysterious condition responsible for many infant deaths in developed nations. The following 3 days were a painful limbo as Nevada remained on life support. When the heartbreaking decision was made to remove the breathing machine, Elon, overcome with grief, felt Nevada's last heartbeat. Justine cradled their lifeless baby in her arms, and Elon sobbed uncontrollably, his cries echoing like that of a wolf. Unable to bear returning home, they sought solace at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel, where Elon requested that all traces of Nevada's presence be removed. In the midst of his silent grief, Elon's childhood friend Naved Farrick arrived to offer support. Seeking to console him, Naved cautiously broached the subject, but Elon shut down any conversation about his pain. Instead, they immersed themselves in movies and video games, providing temporary distraction from the searing loss. Justine, on the other hand, openly expressed her emotions, but Elon struggled to handle her vulnerability, accusing her of emotional manipulation. Elon saw his son's birth as an opportunity to reconcile with his own father, Errol, whom he had not seen for 13 years. Inviting him to meet his grandson in North Carolina, Elon arranged for Errol and his new family to travel from South Africa. However, when Nevada passed away, Elon couldn't bring himself to deliver the devastating news personally. Instead, he asked a Delta Air Lines representative to break the news to Errol over the phone. Despite the heartbreaking news, Errol insisted on continuing their journey to Los Angeles. Struggling with his emotions, Elon vacillated between wanting his father close and feeling uncomfortable with him witnessing his vulnerability. Eventually, he convinced himself that having Errol stay in Los Angeles was the right decision, even going so far as buying him a house in Malibu. However, the situation quickly took a bizarre turn. Elon grew concerned about 56-year-old Errol's overly attentive behavior toward one of his 15-year-old stepdaughters. Angry at the inappropriate behavior, he offered to buy Errol a yacht, but only if he agreed to live there alone, only visiting his family on the weekends. But this arrangement only exacerbated the strangeness, and after a while, Elon asked Errol to return to South Africa. Soon after, Errol's wife and family also moved back. Chapter 17, Revving Up. Tom Mueller, a resident of rural Idaho with a passion for model rockets, emerges as a key player in Elon Musk's quest to build rockets at SpaceX. Growing up in a logging village, Mueller developed a hands-on approach to engineering from a young age. He would tinker with his father's welding torch and conduct experiments, such as injecting water into the engine to enhance thrust, even though it often led to failures. Mueller's enthusiasm for rockets led him to Los Angeles, where he found work at TRW, a company that built rocket engines for NASA. During his weekends, he joined the Reaction Research Society, testing rockets in the Mojave Desert. It is here that he catches the attention of Elon Musk. In January 2002, during a visit to the RRS, Musk comes across Mueller and is impressed by his knowledge and experience with rocket engines. Musk bombards Mueller with questions about thrust and propellants, showcasing his keen interest and understanding. Intrigued, Musk invites Mueller to his home to discuss building a launch vehicle. The Super Bowl is on, but the two are so engrossed in conversation that they barely watch a single play. Musk, captivated by Mueller's expertise, extends a job offer to head propulsion at SpaceX. Mueller, who had been yearning for a more challenging work environment, consults with his wife before accepting. They agree that passing up such an opportunity would be a mistake, and Mueller becomes SpaceX's first official hire. Musk secures a warehouse near the Los Angeles airport to serve as SpaceX's headquarters and factory. He designs the layout to facilitate a collaborative environment, with all teams working closely together. Late nights at the office are often followed by intense multiplayer shooter game sessions, where Musk displays his competitiveness and gaming skills. He is known for his aggressive playstyle and ability to outmaneuver opponents with lightning-fast reactions. This camaraderie strengthens the team and pushes them to excel. Under Musk's guidance, the rocket being built is named Falcon 1. Paying homage to the iconic spacecraft in Star Wars. Mueller is given the task of naming the rocket's engines, resulting in the Merlin engine for the first stage and the Kestrel engine for the second stage. With Mueller's expertise and a team of talented engineers, SpaceX begins its journey to revolutionize the aerospace industry. The ambitious vision and relentless drive of Elon Musk, combined with Mueller's propulsion knowledge, pave the way for the company's future successes. Chapter 18, Musk's Rules for Rocket Building. Elon Musk has a relentless focus on keeping costs down. Unwilling to accept exorbitantly priced components, Musk set out to manufacture as many parts in-house as possible, When faced with a $250,000 valve cost from a supplier, Musk deemed it insane and instructed his team to make it themselves. Similarly, he reduced the cost of an actuator from $120,000 to a mere $5,000 by comparing it to a simple garage door opener. Musk's penchant for cost-effectiveness led him to discover that a valve used in car wash systems could be modified for rocket fuel. Musk's aversion to being overcharged extended to SpaceX's supply of aluminum domes. When a supplier raised the price, he decided to build the domes in-house, referring to the supplier's tactics as going Russian on him. Over time, SpaceX managed to manufacture 70% of its rocket components internally. Cost-effectiveness wasn't the only guiding principle for Musk. He also had a maniacal sense of urgency. When Mueller presented a schedule for completing the Merlin engines, Musk found it lacking. He demanded the schedule be cut in half and made it clear that he expected unwavering commitment from his team. Musk's aggressive schedules often pushed the boundaries of what was possible, but they also resulted in extraordinary achievements. Engineers were compelled to engage in first principles thinking to meet the seemingly impossible deadlines. Despite the challenges, SpaceX managed to develop the lowest cost and most impressive rockets in history. Learning through failure was another core principle for Musk. SpaceX took an iterative approach to design, rapidly prototyping, testing, and revising until success was achieved. Musk encouraged a freewheeling testing environment, pushing engineers to understand and overcome problems at lightning speed. Musk's willingness to improvise was exemplified when lightning struck a test stand and damaged a fuel tank. Rather than scrapping the tank and enduring months of delays, Musk insisted they fix it on the spot. With hammers, welding, and Musk's presence, they pounded the bulge back into shape, saving precious time. While some of Musk's unconventional approaches didn't always succeed, his fearlessness in trying offbeat fixes inspired his engineers to think outside the box. This pattern of trying new ideas and learning from failures became deeply ingrained in SpaceX's culture. As Musk and his team pursued their audacious goal of space exploration, they even set up a cow cam to observe the reactions of nearby cattle to their explosive experiments. The cows, like the engineers, grew accustomed to the unexpected booms, encircling their young calves to protect them. Chapter 19. Mr. Musk Goes to Washington. Elon Musk's partnership with others has always been a challenge, as he prefers to maintain control and power. However, one exception to this is his long-standing relationship with Gwynne Shotwell, who joined SpaceX in 2002 and eventually became its president. Shotwell is direct, sharp-spoken, and confident, and she has become Musk's trusted colleague and confidante. Having grown up in a suburb of Chicago, Shotwell was inspired to pursue engineering after attending a panel by the Society of Women Engineers. She found her calling, applied to Northwestern University, and proudly embraced her identity as a nerd. Shotwell's first interaction with Musk was straightforward. She told him that the person handling business discussions with possible customers was a loser. Her candidness impressed Musk, and the following day, she received a call offering her the position of Vice President of Business Development. After considering the opportunity, she decided to take the risk and join SpaceX as its 7th employee. Shotwell's understanding of Musk is unique due to her husband's diagnosis with Asperger's, a condition that can make individuals appear lacking in empathy. She recognizes that Musk may say things that come across as assholey without considering their impact. As an engineer, Shotwell grasps the technical details of Musk's ideas, listens attentively, and strives to achieve his vision, even when it initially seems crazy. Wooing NASA was a critical moment for SpaceX, and Shotwell accompanied Musk on a trip to Washington to secure a contract from the Defense Department. During their visit, Musk broke his tooth, but his embarrassment only managed to amuse Shotwell. Their determination paid off as they successfully secured SpaceX's first contract, impressing the administrator of NASA. To increase public awareness, Musk organized an event outside the National Air and Space Museum, showcasing the Falcon 1 rocket. Although some engineers considered it a distraction, it caught the attention of Liam Sarsfield, a NASA deputy who praised SpaceX's potential. However, tensions arose when NASA awarded a no-bid contract to a competitor. Musk chose to sue NASA, even including Sarsfield's email explaining the situation in the lawsuit. Eventually, SpaceX prevailed, and NASA was forced to open the project to competitive bidding. This victory not only benefited SpaceX, but also introduced an alternative to the prevailing cost-plus contracts that stifled innovation. Musk argued that fixed-price contracts, like the one SpaceX championed, incentivized efficiency, creativity, and cost-cutting, allowing private companies to take more control over their projects. Musk's trip to Washington and his advocacy for fixed-price contracts had a profound impact on the American space program. SpaceX was able to challenge the cost-plus contracting model used by organizations like NASA and the Defense Department. By pioneering an approach that rewarded results and promoted innovation, SpaceX set the stage for a new era of space exploration.